Hello and welcome back to Victoria 3. Due to a recording issue with the last episode, we're skipping ahead a little bit. I went as far back as I had autosaves for, so we were picking up in 1874, which is fine because we are skipping some economic development and getting right to the part where we declare independence from Great Britain. First, though, we've got to get our economy sorted out a little bit, make sure we're in the best possible position to make that leap. So I'm building up our colonies a little bit. Our South African colonies seem to be doing well. We've got a gold mine going in Araucania, which is fantastic. We're starting to colonize the South Island as well. And with our prestige up to number 9, as well as building up our navy, that's allowed us to have some additional diplomatic interests around the world. So that's great. That lets us settle some more colonies. Some of these areas, especially in the Pacific, are great for agriculture. We can get some different agricultural products that we couldn't get anywhere else. And not too much in resources, maybe a little bit of whaling and a little bit of rubber in some of them. But with those picking up, it'll still be some extra income, some extra people. Always glad to have those. Not that we have a shortage of people. Now having, in 1874, 3 times the population of modern-day Ireland. So what do we need to really get ready? The first thing we need is friends. So I'm going to make sure that we are improving our relations with Russia. They're already improved. The United States is another possible candidate. France looks good. Scandinavia, I think we already have good relations there. Italy is not our friend, but if we can prevent them from taking the side of Britain, that would be great. And maybe wait until Prussia is done with this war, whatever it is. Because Prussia could be a very good ally for us. Can't tell exactly what the war is going on here. Is that Frankfurt? Karlsruhe? Baden? Who might be at war? Yeah, there. Okay. So it looks like Baden actually won that. Not sure how, but that's what happened. So we have just barely now even on our influence. Our budget looks good. I'd love to see that look even better before we start. Just because we know that war is going to be expensive, so that's it's going to put a hurt on our budget. Some expensive government goods, but not much we can really do being part of the British market. I think it's pretty limited how much influence we can have there. Maybe try to import some stuff that's very expensive, but not a lot of opportunities here. Once we break free of the Brits, then we can balance out our economy a little better. Maybe make some progress on those items that are very expensive. Photographs of Ireland. Prestige or legitimacy? We need the legitimacy. And what else can we build up? No shortage of people to conscript, but I'd like them to be professional soldiers if possible. And these 2 provinces have no extra people, not going to build barracks there. And I also want to make sure, look at our generals. I think this is the quickest way to see what your force looks like and where you have extra units. I'm just going to promote this guy so that we can have all of our units in one army. I think that's what's most effective. And wow, where did we get this 33,500 from? I'm happy with it. Oh, our investment pool is nice and built up. I will take it. And look at this. This is just killing us. 85,000 per week. Or is that per month? I'm not actually sure. 85,000 to the Brits. I am very unhappy with paying that. Now they're looking at a Bedouin uprising. I assume that this is not going to be too much of an actual event. They've got 1 battalion. And we've been growing so fast that we're outpacing market access. I'm subsidizing the railways, mostly because coal and engines are expensive on the British market. I think that's why they're having trouble being profitable, but here they are, just barely profitable, and barely profitable still counts. War with the Bedouin uprising. Now, I'm not sure why my costs go up. I wonder if that's because military goods get more expensive when... No. Looking at government wages, goods for government buildings, military wages. Military wages ticked up, though I am also building some barracks. So I'm not sure exactly why that wage went up. Any institutions that would be good to increase? Maybe Home Affairs would be good. I think that one could help us out. Check my production methods again while I'm waiting for this war to end. Because I think it's still counting us as a British subject, so we're technically at war, and we can't declare war on them while we are at war. So I think these are mostly taken care of. And more Portuguese migration. Let's see how our lead mines look. Still very expensive to do that. I'm going to back down to nitroglycerin. Take a little bit of profit there. And I wonder, in some of these outlying regions where we have less population, I might actually go to some of the automation techs there. I think this war can't go on long. I mean, they've got 1 unit. It can't be too long of a war. But this gives us time to save up, time to get ready. I think our army's doing pretty well right now. And we could, of course, keep recruiting. Building out barracks. I mean, just look at how many people we have. 384,000. We're going to have an issue with bureaucracy, so let's build out some government buildings before that gets out of hand. All right, human rights unlocked. And just looking where I have the most peasants. You know, sometimes I don't know if this is actually a good strategy or not, but I like to occasionally throw a government administration in some of the lower developed colonial areas, because that is some good jobs there. All right, so we can incorporate Bougainville, and let that become part of our state. Is this Eastern Micronesia? Yep. Incorporate that as well. 21 years for that one. 20 years. Yeah, because we have no common cultures. So that's why that one takes so long. And here, the South Island is still growing. Don't have a lot of people here, but we can still add a whaling station. I think that will help us maybe get a little bit of oil, because I know that's going to be a challenge in the next few years. Britain's losing a lot of wars lately. And it seems like I noticed one before this, and this one now against the Bedouin uprising. No dead or wounded, but their war support is crashing. So where is that coming from? Exhaustion. So maybe if we declare war on them before their exhaustion goes back up and improves, we could take advantage of that. I'm going to build more government administration just to make sure. More barracks. Because even if I can't conscript these guys into armies, they're still in this HQ. And if or when the Brits invade, it will at least put up some resistance. And I want to have at least one barracks so that in each region, so that if the British land there, there's going to be some resistance. So Russia will take our side. Big challenge is going to be New Brunswick, has a lot of units, and the British Raj. But I don't see them landing on our shores, so hopefully we can just hold out, wear the British down, and get our independence. So here we go. So we have the Brits, the French, the Prussians, the Austrians, and the Americans, and the Scandinavians, who we think will take our side. Once we get to the diplomatic maneuvers phase, we'll see who wants they want an obligation, a treaty port, or regime change. Let's offer the Russians a treaty port in Quebec, just for fun. And then the Prussians, I'd love to see the Prussians here. Let's see, I wonder why. All right, we're already swaying another country. So let's wait until the Russians make a decision. Russia has sided with us. Okay. Now I want the Prussians. And I'm thinking the Prussians because they're on the coast. And that just makes a little more sense to me than the Austrians trying to come around. But we'll see. All right, I didn't realize we have an actual land bridge right there. So Eamon Fitzgerald is the commander of our army, basically. And we can make him the leader of the trade unions. I'm just going to let him run with it. I'll take the momentum to the Radical Party. Who else? Do we want anyone else on our side? What does Scandinavia want? Humiliate Great Britain? Do I want the Americans? What do the Americans want? Regime change in New Brunswick. That could be interesting. So they want to change out the Canadian government. That would break up the Brits even further. I like it. I'm holding off mobilizing. Yeah, let's activate some conscripts. I want to get some of them moving, but I don't want to crash my economy just yet. And I'm betting the British have some better military technology than I do. Do I want to sway anyone else? No maneuvers left. Okay. All right, we got the Americans, the Russians, and the Germans all against the British. And have they gotten anyone on their side? No, because why would you join the British side here? Eruption. Devastation. I can't afford that right now. Because I am at war. Or about to be. So let's mobilize Fitzgerald. And throw him on the Ulster front. I have more conscripts I can call on pretty quick. But I think we've got more and more mobilizing. Here we go. War has broken out. Let's see how it goes. So we have Russian and Irish units here. We have some more conscript battalions, I'm sure, on the way. So they attacked us first, and they're getting beaten back. All right, we can get 100% legitimacy government here. Being where we are militarily, it might make sense to throw the armed forces in there. That's conservative. Doesn't really line up. Yeah, let's go with this 100 legitimacy government. Get more loyalists and better enactment time. I think that'll help going forward. And I want to take a look at my trade routes. I'm going to put this on slow while I'm trying to figure out my trade situation. I wonder, yeah, we're still part of the British market technically, because we haven't been, I guess, made independent yet. All right, better war exhaustion. Good. Where do I want to try to colonize a little bit? Let's try East Africa. I never really colonized there much. And what else is going on that's a challenge here? I'm sure I'm going to be losing some ships. Yes, we're just protecting the coast here. Nothing too major. Really good first battle against the British. So let's keep working on it. And then right away, they're fighting the Russians. The Russians aren't doing as well, but still wearing down the British army. I'll happily let the Russians wear them down with human wave assaults. And I do have more conscripts coming. They're still getting moving from, I think it was Leinster that I conscripted. Anything going on here in Prussia? Not quite. And then we have the Americans and Canadians fighting. The Americans look like they're losing slightly. And what about this front? Anything going on here? We have the Alaska-Ontario front. The New York-Ontario front. That has a lot of troops on it. Interesting. Sephardim people. That's very curious. Pomerania and Brandenburg. So that's a new front. Okay, so Radical Prussia is now part of this war. And we beat back another British attack. They're taking pretty heavy casualties attacking us. And we're taking heavy casualties attacking them. So it looks like we might need to mobilize some more. Don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. Because there are just too many Brits. I think after this battle, I'm gonna flip to defensive and just let them hold ground. Because we have now pushed into British territory. And this last chunk of the battle takes forever. There we go. Yep, I'm gonna flip the... Nope, can't flip the defense yet. Because we're beating a British assault right now. How's the rest of the war going? So I'm going to press all of my goals, just to start with. And the Brits definitely don't want to give up yet. But we'll see as the war support dwindles, as their gold reserves dwindle. It's already improving. There we go. And again, we're holding off British assaults. Their casualties are heavy. They can't keep this up forever. And I think overall we're going to see their morale start to decline. There, we're going to flip to defense. Maybe let the Russians grind their armies against the Brits. I'm going to let the armed forces become more powerful. They're a little conservative, but not, they're not like obstructionist or anything ridiculous. And they like some of the good army laws that I like. So here we have the Americans pushing the Canadians back, it looks like, on that front. And don't see anything going on this front. And on this front, nothing. I wonder if I send my Congo command up there, if that will get the Canadians out of the war. I don't know if that is actually a Canadian. So it's technically New Brunswick that owns it all. And Ontario is independent. Interesting. I like it. So how's this one going? The Brits are just defending. The Russians are attacking. And we have electrical generation unlocked. That's big. Let's start to get some power plants built. Because even though we are at war, power plants are super important for your economy. They can be incredibly powerful, generate a lot of revenue for you, and they're helpful to start with some other technologies that boost your production. So I'm actually going to flip around some construction stuff here. Start building those right away. And I think I might back down my construction. Where is that one? That's urban. Where is it? Why am I having trouble finding this? Oh, it's in this tab. Yep, and I'm going to back this down to iron frame buildings, just so that I have a little more cash for the war effort. I think I've got to go on the offensive here now, because the Russians aren't doing anything. I'm fresh. And I can't hold out forever with my treasury the way it is. At least the Russians are wearing them down. And we are pushing slowly into, is this Yukon territory up here? Yeah, Yukon territory in British Columbia. They have no troops stationed over here. So even though, wow, what's hurting my morale? Not seeing it. Yeah, so they've got no troops over here. We're slowly making progress. Anything going on over here? The Manitoba, Ontario front. Got a lot of troops here. Look at that. Ulysses Grant and Robert Lee, William Tecumseh Sherman. All there, all fighting against these New Brunswick troops. The Prussians are not really doing much to help us here. I thought they'd be much more decisive in this war. I was hoping for some Prussian naval support, something. I'm trying to remember what I can do with this first technology in electrical generation. Electric fences, streetlights, sawmills. So once I get those first generating plants up, I will flip some of them to electric streetlights. There we go. We're advancing. We should win this one. I wonder what their troops are like. Skirmish infantry, and I have skirmish infantry as well. So we're fairly even up from that perspective. How do the peace deals look? What if I drop out Gujarat, because who needs the Prussian support? The Russians don't want to, because even though they're going to get a Quebec treaty port, they think we should push for everything. But look at that. We are pushing into Scotland. The Russians are advancing into Scotland out of Ireland. What a weird scenario. Said within a trade. Yeah, I can't have relations improve with Great Britain right now. So they're defending the front. They have some pretty sizable units, but a lot of them have been worn down. And we've got a numbers advantage here. They've got one army that had 120 battalions. They can stack up with me, but it doesn't look like they're the ones we're facing in defense right now. I think soon they've got to accept this. Yep, they're down to 5. So I think we're close. We're close to getting it. The Americans are at least taking up the Canadians' attention. Even though they're not gaining much territory. Let's propose this peace deal. Give us everything we wanted. There we go. We're independent. We have our own independence. We have a Russian treaty port in Quebec. We have a trade agreement with Austria now. There's that Russian port. The Prussians get a port in Gujarat. And we get regime change in New Brunswick. I'm not sure how that actually looks, but we'll see. There we go. Ireland is independent. So I wonder what's killing our economy. We're going to have to sort this out right away because we need coal, we need engines, we need a lot of things. Get some coal in there. We probably need some steel. Need some furniture. I don't want to... Ooh, Hawaii? I guess I can enter a defensive pact with Hawaii. That doesn't sound terrible. Get lots of tools flowing in. What can we export? Liquor. Gladly. Some China. You have a lot of food. I have a big food industry we built up. Grain. Ironclads, there we go. So where... We've got a lot of notifications here to resolve. Not going to worry about goods right now. Declared interests. That's something good to take care of right away. You can look at Indonesia. And maybe... Let's look at West Africa too. So I think the source of some of these problems is, let's see. I wonder why. Okay, it's shipping lane issues. So as we produce transports, and I think just with time, those will get better. Munster has a lack of infrastructure. So let's see. The railway has a penalty because we don't have enough coal and engines. And I'm guessing the port might also, because we are lacking coal. Now we do have a motor industry. Let's grow that one. What else? Silk dye and tools. Got a lot of things we need to import. Before our economy explodes. So let's look at our construction again. And I'm going to back this all down to wood. Maybe one up to iron. We've got to get positive here in our cash flow. Now our trade should be increasing now. But we need to import engines. There we go. That one should help as well. Coal, more coal. This is kind of a pain to sort out when you become independent. You're just leaving a market and your economy is trashed. Tools are going to be very important for us. And I think that should be it. Maybe clippers? I think we have one or two ports that still use clippers. Yeah, this crushed our GDP. Hopefully we can recover as we start to get some imports set up. So let's see. We're importing some coal. And it looks like it's growing. And hopefully some of these input issues will start to resolve. We need some silk. Not that that's a huge concern right now, but we will need it just to get our economy stronger. And then what else? I'm just looking for anything that's profitable to import right now. Probably can't import too much coal. I feel like you always need more of that. Maybe some exports. No, we produce a lot of meat and grain, just being that we're pretty basic agricultural. I'm not trading with the British out of spite right now. Oil? Could export a little oil. Export some rubber. Yeah, small arms, steamers. We have a lot of steamers from our shipbuilding, so hopefully that will help us out. Trade agreement with Prussia, gladly. Now, if this turns negative, I'm going to be in trouble. Because we have a positive balance, but we're over the credit limit. So the first thing is we've got to grow the economy to get our cash reserves up. And then increase our income as well. Government wages, subsidies, those are both hurting us. But hopefully as we get these plants built, again, we'll start improving that. And it looks like some of our input goods are resolving. Let's get more tools in. There we go. Now I see that ticking up. Really, we're lacking fish. Interesting. And even with these troubles, we have a lot of migration events still. And wood. That's a curious one. But I guess I haven't built very many lumber mills. So let's build a couple. Interesting. So we are bankrupt, technically. But we'll get better. War propaganda, military statistics. All right. Now what's next for us? Combustion engine could be good, but electrical capacitors, that's going to help our production. hopefully with our income so high, we'll get out of this, bankruptcy soon. We should be able to resume. And then start kind of growing out of this. As our cash reserves increase, our borrowing limit will increase, and we'll be in better shape overall. Sorry, fish are a resource, not agriculture. Lots of fish. Trade agreement with Russia. Good. I don't think the Prussians need my help here. I wonder if anything ever happened with the regime change here. Still a crown colony. But the Russians now have their port in Quebec. So we have a huge population on a tiny island. What do we do with it? I think the first thing we need to stabilize the economy. That's going to be most important. And then look for any gold. Can we build gold mines anywhere? We can build coal mines. Can build some logging camps. So we'll build those up. So we've made it to 1880. We're independent. We have 17 million people. Let's look at that. Let's look at that by state. Forget exactly how to do this. There's one of these where you can look at your states. Outliner, that's where it is. Yeah, almost 5 million people in Leinster, 4.2 in Munster, and then 1.6 million in South Cameroon. Let's take a look at that state, see if we can find anything better to do to help it grow. Don't think there's much going on. We're making the most out of the agriculture there. But let's definitely start to build up some rubber and fishing there. Rubber is such an important resource in this game. Still have a shortage of dye. So can we build dye plantations? Yes. Once we get those up, that should help. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the petite bourgeoisie. And now with our construction sector, or with our income improving, we can start to build a little faster. Still don't have an investment pool, but that's okay. And I might even start to expand some to steel frame buildings, just to keep moving. We've got a big backlog of resources to exploit here. And I want to become more independent. So Munster's having a lot of trouble in terms of infrastructure, I think. What is it? Let's look at it. Yeah. Where did their infrastructure go? Yeah, they need trains, they need ports. So what's going on here? Okay, so we've got to make sure that they keep building up this railway. That took away quite a bit of their infrastructure. Might have to expand it again. But look at that, up to number 7. More declared interests. There we go. Where do I want? So Persia is going to be important, I think, for opium. Let's colonize Eastern New Guinea. And where's Ubungi Shari? Let's colonize that as well. Only 14 years left until we get the full incorporation of South Cameroon. And with as high as our income is, I'm going to flip everyone to steel construction now. We need more dye and more sugar. I do have some dye plantations coming up, but not enough, not yet. Let's start importing it so we can get it right away. Import from our friends in Hawaii, also from the Chilean market. And what's wrong with your infrastructure? We just never built much, that's what it was. So I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. And I don't know if I explicitly said this in past videos, but my ultimate goal is to destroy the British Empire. That is precisely what I want to do in this playthrough, as any true Irishman would. But to do that effectively, we have to build up our own economy enough to destroy them. Got oil in the Ivory Coast. I don't think we're over there yet. Let's make sure we have enough steel as well. And look at this, our list of states is starting to grow. I think we got some new production methods. Trying to remember which ones we got. That's right, urban center, electric street lights. I think that'll actually save us some coal too. There we go, we completed Central Archives. Little bureaucracy bonus for us. And how do our law opportunities look? Anything good? Nothing there. I like multiculturalism. I like these laws. Charity hospitals. Public health insurance is going to be too big of a stretch. We've already got public schools. Serfdom's abolished. Regulatory bodies. Let's try that. Now our credit limit has increased. We're actually paying down our debt. When we get a little further along, I might actually reduce taxes. No promises. I said might. So our GDP is now number 5. And our population is number 14. We are really growing for being a little island. It's confusing me now. I'm not used to our map color being green. We can build a couple more things over here. I think the vineyards are going to be big for us, since wine is expensive. Conservative Party. Let's add a little bit to the Labor Party. The Prussians are fighting the Russians, it looks like. Worker safety. I think let's take it longer and have it be more successful. I think that's where I want to go with it. We have some turmoil here. We need more dye and more electricity as well. Wonder what's going on with our shipyards. I'll subsidize this for now. What we really need is cheaper steel. Alright, synthetics are going to be big for us because they allow us to substitute silk eventually. And dye for now, which is also very important because we're short on that. So let's import some steel because that's something expensive that's hurting our economy. Yes, we have a revolution going on in Britain, it looks like. Revolutionary Great Britain. A republic against the British monarchy. Yep. So we will let that one happen for sure. Now, what do we have building here? Dye plantations. That's going to help. That's something we're short on. But what else are we short on here? Clippers. Interesting. I thought we built enough. Or imported enough. Let's get some more. When you have to use convoys to import clippers, I wonder, you know, what's actually on what ship. And I'm just going to go through and import some of these high-value items. These are usually the ones I think that have the biggest opportunity for profit. Wow, and we can actually export tea. That's pretty cool. That we're growing enough in our plantations that we can export it. The Red Menace. Let's let that one happen. Devout Scandal. I'm going to ignore it so that it actually hurts the devout movement. Got a few trade routes that are unproductive here. And let's see, where can I build coal mines? There we go. That new colony in Africa. South Cameroon as well. Still wish we could build more gold mines. And now our economy is really clicking. There we go, new election. So the Labour Party won, but it didn't look like by a bunch. So it's really just going to be kicking the devout out of government. So I'll do that. I wonder if there's anywhere interesting we can colonize now. Senegal. You could try it. How about Vanuatu? I think Tonga is the one that I usually like, as it has quite a bit of population. And then Western Australia, we can find some good resources there as well. Some, excuse me, some gold mines there. And I think some, what else is it? There were gold mines and coal, I think, in Western Australia. So there we go. We've got our colony in Vanuatu. And Papua. This is a tough one to colonize, I think. I think this has some of the environmental modifiers. But we'll still grow some coffee there. Oh, and here's Bougainville. Some more whaling and fishing. What else is mine? Kanak is mine. Look at that. Coffee's actually cheap right now. But we can build some lead and some fishing to, excuse me, counteract that. Yeah, look how slow that is. 6,000 days to our next province. But this colony is growing nicely. As is Araucania. We just need more people there. And how's our colony in Senegal? We've got 1,000 people. 300 days to the next growth. All right, let's try to knock down taxes, actually, and see how that goes. Haven't even used any consumption taxes yet, which I usually do. I don't know if I'm going to, even though. Let's export some coffee. We have a ridiculous amount of coffee. And probably tea, too. And let's see if we can import any more coal. Scandinavia is pretty powerful. I wonder if they would... Oh, they're in the Russian market. I don't want to get involved there. I definitely don't like the British, but I also don't want to be involved in the Russian market. How about France? Let's see what diplomatic options we have for the French. You can do a trade agreement. Increases relations, plus reduces the impact of the bureaucracy cost of having our trade routes. Who would want an alliance? Surprised the Prussians aren't more interested. Or even the Dutch, maybe? Ideological differences. Wow, the Dutch GDP is tiny. But when you look at that chart, look at the huge hit our GDP took during the war. Oh well, we're growing now. So France accepted our trade agreement, which is good. That'll also kind of continue improving our relations with France as well. Argentina doesn't want a pact. Netherlands wants a trade agreement. I'll take it. And we have gold in the South Island. I'm going to improve throughput and only go for the little migration bonus. Reason being that we have enough people there to staff our, I don't know if staff is the right word, improve our gold fields to work in them. And we're going to have plenty of migration anyway. Where is that tab? Yeah, 94,000 people a year, and that's probably going to get higher. Let's see. Yep, up to 124,000. We're going to have enough people. So what's our limiting factor? Probably construction at this point. Let's go ahead and hit up more construction anywhere we've got lots of people. A few more should do the trick. And we dropped our taxes back to medium. So hopefully with that, we'll see an improvement in the standard of living. What's costing the most? Liquor and clothes and groceries and glass. So let's grow those next. Glass, groceries. Liquor is produced in food industries as well. And I think we might actually have to consider using some of the automation text soon. How do we not have any furniture? Don't know how I overlooked that one. And then let's slide the construction to the front of the queue. Because move that to the front, we'll get those built first, and that'll help us build everything else a little faster. We can afford it at this point. Trade agreement with the British Republic? I'll take it. Actually, let's... do we want to damage relations with the British Republic yet? And is New Brunswick independent? No. I don't want to get involved in their peasant revolt. But I do think that we are almost as powerful as the Brits now. So I'm going to get ready to take them on militarily. Market access in Ulster's a problem for us. I feel like after a while, this game can kind of turn into a cycle of just going and checking the same things. You can automate a little bit of it, but if you want to be smart about it, you can't really just automate it all. Isolated state regions. I think we have ports queued for most of these, I think. What about Tonga? Nope, not in Tonga. So we'll get that queued. You've got 67 weeks of stuff queued up here. And then clippers still. Wonder if I should set a shipyard to just produce clippers. Or if I can actually upgrade. That would be the smart thing, is to change my fishing wharves to not use clippers and use steam trawlers instead. Same with whaling. That's the smart thing. High tensions, not too worried about it. Unproductive trade routes. Just drop those off since we don't need them. Start exporting some stuff. We actually have quite a bit of paper now. And yeah, our income is so high we can back further off of taxes. Let's expel some diplomats. And start damaging relations. Good, we got the switchboard, so we have better taxation capacity. We can conquer some states. I think we could conquer the lowlands. And that's a lot of coal. I want the lowlands. All right. So with that next goal in mind, I think I'm going to call it there for today. I'm going to save. And for the next episode, we will talk about moving from Ireland into Scotland and conquering the British or Scottish lowlands. Thanks again for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hope you're enjoying the game and have a good one.